In the bloopers to the final season of Parks and Recreation, Amy Poehler stops the camera and says the one thing she's not going to miss about the show is doing these talking heads. She's not going to miss them, and I can totally relate because I have no idea what to say in the introductions to these videos. This is not my forte. I'm more of a let's just sort of get into it and I'll show you what I do. But what else can I say? I'm going to show you how to make a dark chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting. It's my personal favorite cake. It's my celebration cake, my birthday cake, my home on another lonely Saturday night, dateless, eating the frosting out of a bowl, watching a John Hughes movie cake. No matter what my mood is, this cake hits all the right notes. So if you like a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, you're probably going to like this cake. It's like eating a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup in cake form. And if you don't like peanut butter, this is not the cake for you. If you have a peanut allergy, don't make this cake. It's poison. With that note, and I just want to send a shout out to Ina Garten. I have been baking this cake based on her recipe for years, it's just, I think, the best chocolate cake. I came across a recipe of hers for a chocolate cupcake with peanut butter frosting, and I thought to myself, what if I paired the peanut butter frosting with the dark chocolate cake? That has become a huge hit with me and with everyone who's tried it. Okay, so let's start with the ingredients. We have 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of sugar, 3/4 of a cup of good cocoa powder, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of buttermilk, and I've shaken the buttermilk before I've poured it into the measuring cup, half a cup of canola oil, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 cup of coffee, freshly brewed black coffee. Okay, so what I've done is I've sifted all the dry ingredients into my mixing bowl. So again, that's the 1 3/4 cups of flour, the 2 cups of sugar, the 3/4 cup of cocoa powder, the 2 teaspoons of baking soda, the 1 teaspoon of baking powder, the 1 teaspoon of salt. So I've combined those all into my mixing bowl, sifted them into the mixing bowl, and now I have it in the mixer, and I'm just turning it on low to combine everything. So while that's mixing, I'm taking all the wet ingredients except for the coffee, and I've combined them into this small bowl. So again, that's the 1 cup of buttermilk, the half a cup of canola oil, the 2 eggs, and the 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And now I'm just going to whisk those up. And again, this is all the wet ingredients except for the coffee. The coffee goes in separately. And I'll show you how we do that in a bit. So again, we're just whisking the wet ingredients together. There. So now, with our mixer on low, we're going to slowly add the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. mix it just until it's combined. That looks good. And now I'm just going to scrape down the mixing bowl just to make sure everything gets incorporated. Just mix it again just to get everything evenly combined. And now to that, we're going to, on low speed, once again, slowly add the coffee. And we're going to do that just until it's combined. And the batter is going to look very watery, but don't worry. It's supposed to. And in case you are wondering, yes, that was an epic save. All right. So we have our cake batter. And here are our pans. And I'll just tell you how I set these up. So I buttered two 8-inch cake pans and lined them with parchment paper. So all I did was take a sheet of parchment paper, put the cake pan on top of it, and then just go around it with a sharp knife to make a circle that would fit the bottom of the cake pan. So I put the parchment paper in, and then I buttered that. And then this is my secret. Although I think lots of people do it. Instead of dusting the pan with flour, I dust it with cocoa powder. Not only does it avoid the white flour residue on chocolate cakes, I personally think it enhances the overall chocolatiness of the end product. I also do the same thing with brownies or anything chocolate that I'm baking in the oven. Okay, the cake batter is in the pans, and just try to get it in as evenly as possible. And now we're just going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes until a cake tester comes out clean. Okay, so our cakes are baking in the oven, and while they're doing that, let's turn our attention to the peanut butter frosting. So let's start with the ingredients, and we're going to use 2 cups of confectioner's sugar, 2 cups of peanut butter, 10 tablespoons of softened butter, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, half a teaspoon of salt, and 2/3 of a cup of heavy cream. And when the cake is cooled and frosted, we're going to garnish it with some roasted and salted peanuts. But let's talk about the peanut butter frosting right now. So in my mixing bowl, I've combined the confectioner's sugar, the peanut butter, the vanilla, and the salt. And again, that's 2 cups confectioner's sugar, 2 cups of peanut butter, 10 tablespoons softened butter, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, half a teaspoon of salt into the mixing bowl. We're now going to put that on the mixer with the paddle attachment and mix at low speed until it is creamy. So while our peanut butter frosting is mixing in the stand mixer, I'm just going to tell you about a variation on the frosting in the event that you don't like peanut butter or are allergic to peanuts. And this is a very simple but really delicious recipe for a dark chocolate frosting. you're basically just going to take 3½ cups of confectioner's sugar and 1 cup of cocoa powder and sift those into a bowl. To that, you're going to add 12 tablespoons of softened butter, ½ a cup of milk, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And you're going to stir that until the mixture is smooth and free of lumps, and that's your frosting. It's very important that all the ingredients be at room temperature to ensure just even and smooth mixing. So if you don't like peanut butter, give this chocolate frosting a try. So it's been 35 minutes and I just checked my cakes with a toothpick, and the toothpick came out clean, so I know that they are done. So I've taken them out of the oven and I'm just going to allow them to cool on this wire rack for 30 minutes, and then I'll invert them and allow them to cool completely. So back to our frosting. So the frosting has been mixing now for about, I'd say, 10 minutes, and as you can see, hopefully, it's really smooth and creamy. So now, I'm going to add the 2/3 of a cup of heavy cream. We're just going to let it combine, and then I'm going to turn the speed up gradually to high and beat it until smooth. That looks good. Okay, so this is our peanut butter frosting. It's nice and smooth, totally spreadable. And now we're just going to wait for our cake to cool, and then we'll frost it. But you know, I just have to make sure it's right. If you like peanut butter, this is the frosting for you. Like I said, it's got the salty sweet notes, and it's really intense peanut flavor thanks to the peanut butter. It's really good. And also, you don't have to just limit this to chocolate cake, although I do think the chocolate and peanut butter frosting combination is a winner. But like banana cake, if you happen to like peanut butter and banana sandwiches, which I personally like, if you were to frost a banana cake with this, that would be pretty incredible. Or even just, you know, like a yellow cake or a white cake. Lots of things you can do with this peanut butter frosting. But we're going to frost a cake, so I will check back in with you when the cake is cool. So my cakes have cooled in the pan for 30 minutes, and I've just inverted them onto wire racks, and I'm just going to take them off just to show you how they came out. Just going to peel off the parchment paper. I can tell just by looking at them that they are exceedingly moist, and just again, you know, dark chocolate goodness. So we're going to let these cool completely, and then we'll frost them with our peanut butter frosting. Okay, so our cakes have fully cooled, and so now it's time to frost the layer cake. So what I've done is on my my cake holder, I have cut out 4 strips of wax paper, and I've basically just put them all around the bottom of the cake holder, and I have placed the first layer of the cake on top. And now we're just going to frost it. So with our peanut butter frosting, we're just going to take sort of a big dollop and put it right in the center. And then I'm going to smooth it out with my offset spatula. And if some of it, seeps along the side, that's fine because we're going to frost the entire cake with it anyway. So there. Now, I'm going to take the other layer and just center it onto the other layer, like so. And now I'm just going to continue the process of frosting the cake. Just going to put a big dollop of frosting on top, and then just sort of work my way all around the cake, letting it fall off the edge. Just working the frosting all around. Until the cake is completely covered. Okay, so here is the frosted cake. And now to just the finishing touches, I'm going to sprinkle some chopped roasted and salted peanuts just around the top of the cake. And you can put as much or as little or no peanuts. Really, it's just a matter of taste. I think the crunch adds a nice texture to the finished cake. And then just a little sprinkling of sea salt, just where I put the nuts, because I do think that hint of saltiness when you bite into that sweet frosting is nice. So there you have it, chocolate peanut butter cake. It is my favorite, and I hope you'll like it as well. And yes, I'm going to have a piece. But before I do, I'll remove the wax paper so you can just see that this basically helps keep your cake bottom from getting messy. And so you have a perfectly frosted cake with no markings on the bottom. So now I'm just going to cut myself a piece. And I'm just going to have a taste. Mm. Hmm. I mean, it's just perfect. You have that dark, deep, rich chocolate cake and that smooth, creamy peanut butter frosting with just a little bit of crunch from the peanuts on top. I mean, something left to say. If you like chocolate and peanut butter, um, you should try this cake. It's the one for you. And hmm, God. I just wanted to say the cake itself is very versatile. I mean, it's a basic dark chocolate cake, and you don't have to use the peanut butter frosting. You can use a the chocolate variation that I explained earlier in this video. You could use a coconut frosting would be great with this, sort of like a reversed Mounds bar. You could use a vanilla frosting. Um, really, whatever frosting works for you. But this chocolate peanut butter one certainly works for me. So whether you're having a celebration with a group of friends, or you're celebrating your birthday, or you are just um, again, it's one of those nights where you just want to put on the Smiths and the Cure and put on your pajamas and close yourself off from the world with nothing but that music and this cake. I think you'll be all set. So thanks for watching. So good.